to dream of the master race. The history books, they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Street where the lion runs to be, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they would come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had knives, bows, and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Do that again. I didn't understand it that time. Take it easy.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I am very well, thank you for asking. How are we getting on? Apologies I was not with you last night. Things. We will not speak of the football. It is a silly sport. Thank you to... Oh, good lord. Thank you to Mad Cat Scotty for gifting 5 subs. Much fucking love to you. Genuinely, that's amazing. Thank you. You already do enough for the channel by merely existing, and so thank you for the extras. Thank you Fuzzmos as well for resubscribing 3 months with Prime. Much love! We're on a hype train. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger Birmingham City's chances of being promoted because they're dead. Actually, that's not remotely true, but they're basically dead. But not really, because it's far too early in the season. But let's be honest, it's not going to happen. Or I could finger Charlie Kirk again.
He's a stiff dick of poop.
Yeah, we'll do Charlie Kirk, fuck it. He's barely decomposed. Thank you, Mad Cat Scotty, again for gifting another sub to Chromatic Cuttlefish.
He's a stiff dick of poop.
Nice. And thank you, Phil Decker, for gifting a sub as well. Honestly, there's a lot going on there, and I appreciate you all. God bless. I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. I've got that.
I know.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
The timing was brilliant. Trust me, it did definitely play.
I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
There you go. Fucking Gennaro Gattuso again, screaming over the top of me. Thank you, Alex Otter for 15 months on the YouTubes, and thank you to Carl Brown for gifting a membership. Much love to you. Much love.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Shut the fuck up, Gennaro. I'll fucking do ya. You weren't even that good, you were a brute. I'm saying it. I'm saying it, chat. I saw one dickhead have him in an Italian all-time team. Yeah, he's getting into that midfield, is he? You're having a fucking laugh! Absolute fucking monkfish. Anyway, he was a
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Thank you, Carl Brown, for gifting another membership. Much love to you. Much love. Well, thank you, Madcat. Much love. Hey Kev, 3 months subscribed. I think I need help. True, but like, yeah, look, 3 months is barely a blip. There are people who've been, there are people here who are very, very sick who've been like subscribed for 50 months. You know, you need to join the queue. There's a lot of people in need of a lot of help. Okay. I just subbed to No Justice yesterday. John! How? What do you mean you... hang on. Do you mean you just gave... you subscribed as in you subscribed on Twitch or you subscribed on YouTube? Because if you've only just subscribed on YouTube when we've been doing work together for fucking years now, and I've asked you a million times to go and fucking follow her on the various platforms, and you haven't done so until yesterday, I'm going to find you and I'm going to fucking do you in! In Minecraft. Oh, on Twitch. Oh, that's okay. That's different then. That's fine. That's cool. I've been following since the descent of Manosphere. We were so innocent. We were so innocent. What beautiful young babes we were. But there we go. It's actually really difficult to get people to like just do the free thing. Look, it's so strange to me. Look, I don't get. Look, ultimately, it's your choice. You do what the fuck you like. But when you say to someone like, "Oh, go and follow this person," right? It's look, it's free, and look, I'll post links in the chat, and loads of people still won't do it. Like, oh, at least do the free stuff. Look, I understand. Look, it's times are tough, right? I'm not gonna fucking shit on anyone for not giving anyone money or whatever. And thank you to everyone who gave money to the Druid's Heath thing. That was fucking awesome. I only follow who I watch. See, I don't get that either. Like, I follow people who I think deserve a follow, not necessarily people who I always watch. Because it's free. It's literally free. It was a Prime sub. So you didn't give it to me, John? Oh, fair enough. Okay. It's fine.
The melt.
I pressed the wrong one. Anyway. She really does good videos, Helen. No, Helena's way better at this than me. Yeah. 100%. I watch with YouTube Premium. Does that help? Not me. It helps you and YouTube, but not me. I gave you the Prime sub. Well, indeed you did. Indeed you did, Fuzzmos. And much love to you. God bless. Anyway, right. If you wanted to engage in this nonsense, you can do by hitting the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bits or more get you a text to speech. You can, hang on, I've lost the fucking will to live here. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. $2 or more there gets you a text to speech. You can go to the Patreon or PayPal and help me out there, either monthly or individually. You can what's the, oh fuck's sake, I'm totally sober, I'm not hungover, I'm not ill, I have no excuse for this. This is just shit. I've got a Discord you can go and check out. It's fucking awesome. I occasionally remember to post the fucking link to the thing when I'm about to go live.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
No, it's virtually always shit, Gennaro. Shut the fuck up. Right. I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram and Threads. If you're on YouTube, hello the fuck YouTube. You can... oh, why didn't I pause that? Why is that playing? That doesn't need to be playing. Shut the fuck up. You can subscribe to me on YouTube for nothing. You can thumb the video up for nothing. You can indeed hit the bell icon to get notifications, maybe, of when I'm streaming or something. I don't know. You do also get the Mr. Streamy memes in the Discord. That's true. We should probably do a separate bit now for the Mr. Streamy ones, because there are so many of them. And everyone can contribute their mentalness. They can pour their mental illness into one little bit of my Discord, if they wish. Yes, on YouTube you can become a member for 99p. You can gift memberships to the community at that exact same commensurate price. You can do super chats. You can do super chats, which will be read out by a robot voice, because that's the best I can do. Literally, take it or leave it. I can't get any better than this. Which is, like, you know, they say you should always strive to be your best, to try and really fulfill your potential. Don't. Because you might work out that your potential is actually shit. At least when you haven't reached your potential and you haven't really tried, you can imagine, oh, my potential's massive. I could be Albert Einstein or some shit, right? No. Most people are fucking awful. Most people are dog shit. So just don't try. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I'm not even in a bad mood. I'm just a cantankerous old cunt at this point. I pulled a muscle in my back last week trying to put my fucking shoes on.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is now. I'm just a cranky old man. Get off my fucking lawn. Thank you to we will switch the alert box off, but thank you. Thank you to Holland Cube for 2 months on the YouTube. Much fucking love. Thank you to Wolfie with 5 memberships. Peace. And thank you to Holland Cube for gifting 5 memberships. Much love to you, Holland Cube. Thank you. Yes. Right. You've all been very generous, I have to say. I'm going to have to suck so many dicks now. Maybe I'll do it on a conveyor belt. We'll get it sorted. Industrial dick sucking. Let's fucking go. Right. Talking of industrial dick sucking, Prime Minister's questions. Does that work? I'm not sure that works. In all honesty. I am not certain that as a segue works in the slightest. I also couldn't give less of a fuck. Right. I don't know if Jenny's in. I can't see her, but she could be hidden. Hopefully she's in, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do PMQs and then we're going to watch right-wing dickheads freaking out because, why not?
We now come to Prime Minister's questions. Sarah Alday.
Question number 1, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the whole House will join me in sending our deepest sympathy and condolences to the family and loved ones of Lance Corporal George Hooley of the Parachute Regiment, who died yesterday in Ukraine.
Why do we have troops in Ukraine? Curious. Why do we have troops in Ukraine? We're not technically involved in that war, are we? Why do we have troops dying in Ukraine, Mr. Starmer? World War III, here we come. Yeah, just chilling. Yeah, just on holiday. Yeah, probably just on holiday. Yeah. It's a nice spot now, this time of year.
Lance Corporal Hooley was injured in a tragic accident away from the front lines. Well,
obviously, because if we had troops in the front lines, that'd be terrible. That would be us literally directly engaging and threatening a nuclear exchange. You fucking irresponsible prick.
Observing Ukrainian forces testing a new defensive capability. His life was full of courage and determination. He served our country with honour and distinction around the world.
He served our country in Ukraine. Okay.
In the cause of freedom and democracy, including as part of the small number of British personnel in Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, I place his name on record today to express our gratitude and respect and to affirm that his service will never be forgotten.
I guarantee you not a single one of these cunts could name this person right now. This was from like 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago, whatever. I guarantee they've all forgotten his name already. Ask them to name a single person who laid down the life in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, for instance. That they all voted for, naturally. Well, the ones that were around, of course. They couldn't name a single one. They were just thrown into the meat grinder, as they always are.
Mr. Speaker, on Monday I hosted President Zelensky, President Macron and Chancellor Merz in Downing Street. We must redouble our efforts. The UK, Europe and our allies will stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, stand up to Putin's aggression and work to deliver a just and lasting peace.
Stand up to Netanyahu's aggression? No, okay.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
You're a twat. Anyway, I've got Maltesers. Little chocolate with honeycomb in the middle. They're delightful, but I didn't realise when buying them, I thought I'll have them tonight for the fucking show. I didn't realise. Check out how crunchy that is. For an audio experience, these are the worst thing. Unless you're into it, I guess.
Today.
Sir, all day.
Mr. Speaker, a couple in my constituency fled persecution from the Egyptian authorities who accused them of being traitors and terrorists due to their work as professional journalists. They gained refugee status here in 2021 and are now 3 months away from being eligible for indefinite...
What do you mean, was it different during World War II? In what way?
...leave to remain. The UK is their home, but their stability and family life are being threatened by changes in government policy. I'm concerned that the government has lost sight of the real-life impact that these changes will have on working families living here legally, and with details of transitional arrangements still under consultation, can the Prime Minister provide clarity regarding the transitional support available to families already on the pathway to indefinite leave to remain? Thank you.
See, they don't care. I'll just answer the question honestly. from the perspective of the government, they don't care about this. They don't care about these people. They don't care about the many, many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands even, whose lives will be torn up by this. They just want to be racist for the sake of being racist, to try and win racist votes. Like, there's this amazing clip. Now, when I play this for you, right, I won't tell you which party this person is a member of. See if you can guess.
But it's also very important, and what we won't do is turn away from this, and it's about ensuring that if there is a link between ethnicity, between race, between culture, that we identify that so that we can deal with it, whether it's because one of the reasons that the perpetrators are committing this crime, or one of the reasons that some have turned away from it. We need to get to the bottom of it, and I'm confident we will.
So we need to find the link between race and ethnicity and child rape. He's talking there about the grooming gangs scandal and the commission that's been set up to investigate all of that. One of the major themes of far-right nonsense is they did it because they're Pakistanis or because they're Muslims or blah blah blah. The fact that the vast majority of the people involved in this were not Pakistani or Muslim is irrelevant to them. But this is boilerplate right-wing shit. From a Labour MP. That's a Labour MP, Mike Tapp, who is the immigration minister, or one of the immigration ministers, and MP for Dover. Who you would think would be able to speak on this with an amount of decorum, befitting that position, but no. So now Labour MPs are basically indecipherable, indistinguishable from Reform MPs, or BNP, or Tommy Robinson, or any of these fucking gobshites, just parroting the same far-right shit over and over and over. And then wondering why the Overton window goes further and further right every fucking day. You know what? I think we do need to find the link between ethnicity and child rape. Why is it that all of those rich white men went to that island with the other rich white man in order to rape children, and indeed rape adults for that matter? I'm gonna guess this commission won't be dealing with that particular issue, will it? Not politically useful. This government is a joke, and it should never be forgiven for the sludge that it now produces. The far-right evil it now espouses every fucking day. And the worst of it is, it's not even politically efficacious. Like, it would still be bad even if it were. But not a single person who believes that they're doing this because they're brown is going to vote for you because you've said it. They already think you're a part of the problem. They already think Keir Starmer is a pederast. They already think that the Labour Party are communists. Just rank nonsense. Liz Truss level bullshit. So I don't even know why they're doing this, other than they're actually just racists, really. I guess. They're just letting their freak flag fly. Oh god, I've mentioned flags. It's another fucking matter. Anyway. Fuck Mike Tapp and fuck this Labour government. They should never ever be forgiven for this. Hang on a minute, hang on, whoa. The grooming gangs are something that need looking into. We can't deflect and bring up Epstein, Kev. Why not? How was Epstein not a grooming gang? How was that not a grooming gang, exactly? Could you give me a definition that includes all of the things you think are grooming gangs, but somehow don't include the Epstein thing? I'd be fascinated to hear that. Also, as I've brought up many, many times, if people are only interested in grooming gangs, that's a red flag. And if they're only interested in Pakistani grooming gangs, that's like a million red flags. No, I'm not suggesting you are, by the way. I'm just saying this is a broader point I'm making here. If you're only interested in grooming gangs, when that is a tiny sliver of the overall picture, right? The number of... Let's just keep it to children being raped. The number of children being raped, the overwhelming preponderance of which are not being done by grooming gangs. They're being done largely by serial rapists or one-off singular individual rapes. So if you're only interested in grooming gangs, that tells me you have an ulterior motive, which isn't really about protecting children, because you're ignoring the, 70, 80%, whatever it is, of children who weren't targeted by grooming gangs. And if you're only interested in Pakistani grooming gangs, that's even more obvious as to what the intention of the person is. They just want to find a link between being brown and being a child rapist. Because they're racists, and they have no interest in protecting children whatsoever. Many of them indeed are domestic abusers themselves. Many of whom get found out to be pederasts themselves. I fully get your point, but what happened in most northern towns deserves some attention. Throwing in upper-class crimes makes no sense. No, I know what you mean, right? And I've got no problem with the investigation taking place. I just don't think that, given that it's being driven entirely by right-wing nonsense, and the only really right-wing concerns are being taken into account with this, that it's going to come out with anything useful. It's just going to be brown people bad, or lack of integration bad, or whatever. That's the only thing that's going to come out of this. And also, does it matter who is doing the rape, particularly? Do you think the victim cares whether the perpetrator is working class or upper class? Do they feel any different about the incident? Probably not. Not that that was your point. I'm just sort of, just something for you to think about.
Well, can I say this country will always be compassionate in relation to refugees?
No, it won't. You've already said so. Fuck you.
And comply with our full obligations under the various conventions. It is important that we address some of the challenges we face at the moment, but we mustn't lose sight that we've always been a compassionate country that welcomes refugees to our shores.
Rachel Buskey.
Mr. Speaker, while the last government was indifferent to child poverty, this government's driving mission must be to eradicate child poverty. And
so why did they keep all those children in poverty for so long then?
the strategy is a first step on that path. Over the first 1,001 critical days in pregnancy and early years, poverty contributes to malnourished babies, developmental delay, hypothermia and poor life outcomes. This is unacceptable. So will the Prime Minister lift pregnant women and babies out of poverty in York and across the country in this Parliament and ensure that we relieve poverty?
We are wanting to get out of the EHRC. Says who? I don't want to get out of the EHRC.
Poverty over the first 1,001 critical days.
Can I thank her for raising this? And I'm proud that babies born today will have a better start in life thanks to our decisions. Mr. Speaker, I am particularly concerned by maternity services, and that's why we've commissioned a review so every mother is heard, gets proper care at what should be a special time, and currently too many are failed. We're funding healthy babies services in 75 of the most deprived areas, and we've taken action to save parents up to £500 a year on infant formula. It is a moral mission of this government to lift children out of poverty, and we intend to do so. The Leader of the Opposition thinks that maternity pay is excessive and would go back to the failment that puts hundreds of thousands of children into poverty.
Kevin Baden, not the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I echo the sentiments of the Prime Minister? The thoughts of the whole House will rightly be with the family of Lance Corporal Hooley, who tragically...
Okay. I don't wish bad on any individual, but I also don't care. I couldn't give a fuck about some random cunt who joined the military knowing what it was. You're an adult when you join, right? He goes on to become part of the fucking parachute corps, so he's been there for a while. He knows it's just an imperialist fucking endeavour and gets himself killed in a field 1,000 miles from where he was born. Okay? I couldn't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't care. I didn't wish him dead. It's not a good thing that he's dead. But I also couldn't give a shit.
Tragically died supporting Ukraine in her fight for freedom.
Yeah. Stop gendering countries, it's fucking mental. Especially since this fucking dumb bitch has just put Sharon Davis up for a fucking MBE. Turfs scratching the backs of turfs. Fucking knobs.
Can the right honourable gentleman tell the House why are his own MPs describing him as a caretaker Prime Minister?
Mr. Speaker, my own MPs are very proud. We've just passed a budget which protected our public services and our NHS. No austerity which brought our NHS to the ground. We've created the condition for economic stability with the headroom we need. And Mr. Speaker, we're concentrating on the single most important issue for families up and down the country, which is the cost of living, by taking £150 off their energy bills. That's in addition to the 150 for the 6 million of the poorest household. We're concentrating on what matters to the country. She's trying to save her job.
Well, to be fair, you're both doing that.
Mr. Speaker, let me answer the question for the Prime Minister. He's being called a caretaker because everyone can see that he's lost control of his party. And this lot, they're all so busy trying to replace him.
Order. Sorry? Can I just say the same people are making the same noises they made last week? I did say last week it wasn't the right time. I wouldn't do it this week. So please, let's not carry on with the way we...
Chocolate teapot fucking cunt.
The melt.
We left it last week.
You don't even get a call like, order!
Come in bed now.
Mr. Speaker, they can make as much noise as they like. We all know that this lot are so busy trying to replace him that they've taken their eyes off the ball. Let's start, Mr. Speaker. Wait for it. Let's start with the Energy Secretary, who wants to recycle himself as leader. He said he'd cut families' energy bills by £300. Can the Prime Minister tell the House how much have energy bills fallen by since the election?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to say we're taking £150 off energy bills. I can also tell her that that's on top of the £150 we've taken off last year for the 3 million poorest families, now for 6 million poorest families. Mr. Speaker, she talks about leaving. The problem for us, last week,
Mr. May, I've told this side, I'll now tell this side. We don't need the pantomime auditions anymore, please.
Mr. Speaker, last week...
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, no, we don't. Fucking kill me.
I pointed out that 3 of her ex-MPs went to reform. That included the former Deputy Chairman, Jonathan Gullis. He liked to think of himself as a straight talker. He said they're finished and they've lost...
What about one of your former MPs that went to the Greens? Is that not worth a mention?
The trust of the British people. In total, Mr. Speaker, 21 ex-Tory MPs have now left for reform. The real question, Mr. Speaker, is... The real question is, who's next? We can all see the Shadow Justice Secretary twitching after his come and get me plea from the member of Clacton. Mr. Speaker, we need no lessons from them.
Mr. Speaker, I asked him about energy bills. You could power the national grid on all of that hot air. He promised to cut energy bills by...
Oh God, this is like watching two cats gently pawing at each other. This is fucking shit. They're just two absolute fucking lame duck fucking losers. Freaks who shouldn't fucking be there.
£300, energy bills have risen by £187. But let's look at someone else who's making a mess. Let's look at the Education Secretary. Oh, there she is. Labour pledged to recruit 6,500 more teachers. So can the Prime Minister tell the House how many extra teachers are there since she became Education Secretary?
More than when they left office. I'm very proud to say so. We're in an upward trajectory. Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so it's going to be like 10 more or something.
Mr. Speaker.
The fact that he wouldn't give the number and just said more than when you left office. Okay.
They left our health service on its knees. They left our schools in a mess. They left our economy absolutely broken. They should be utterly ashamed of their record in service.
Wrong. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are now 400 fewer teachers since she came into office. She's shaking her head. It's on the...
Firstly, you're not supposed to point, and you're not really supposed to say she either. You're supposed to say the honourable member or the member for Clacton or whatever. You know. Not, she's not the member for Clacton. That's Farage, but you get the idea.
DFE website. Does she not check it once in a while? I can understand that the right honourable lady is angry. We're all angry at the mess she's making. The Prime Minister doesn't know what's going on in energy. He doesn't know what's going on in education. Does he know anything about what's...
Oh, is it 50 more? Oh, well, there you go.
...going on in the Home Office? Last year, the Prime Minister promised to...
She really does think she's good at this, doesn't she? That's the delusion. I think to want to be in that position, to want to be either the leader of the Labour Party, Tory Party, whatever, to want to be Prime Minister, you have to be, like, arrogant. Not necessarily deluded, but you have to be really fucking arrogant. Really, like, up your own arse. Because you have to think, I'm good enough to do this very important job. I think I'm good enough to do this. Whereas I know I'm not good enough to do this. I give it a fucking good go. I couldn't do much worse than the fucking wankers that have been there for the last 10 years. 20 years even. But I don't think I'm not hardworking enough, I'm not diligent enough, I'm not knowledgeable in a lot of areas. Not that you necessarily have to be, because you've got advisors and... You know, you can basically ring up any expert on any subject in the fucking world and they'll take your call because you're the Prime Minister of Britain, you know. So you've always got those opportunities. But the point is, you have to be really, really good in a number of areas and you have to be really hardworking and be able to undergo the huge stress involved in it all. And I don't think I'd be able to do that. So I don't put myself forward. Anyone who does thinks of themselves as like Billy Big Bollocks. And most of them are deluded freaks who not only are not good enough, but are so unbelievably unqualified and unsuitable for the position that they should all be removed from the possibility of ever holding office ever. Yeah, Kemi Badenoch, basically both of the front benches, not a single person amongst them. Maybe Ed Miliband, I guess, is okay. That's about it, I think. Can you name any more? I'm looking across that front bench. Not really. Basically, Ed Miliband is your only real option for anyone who I would think of as even remotely capable of doing the job properly. And he'd still be a cunt. Pat McFadden, get out. Get the fuck out.
Recruit 13,000 more police officers. How's that going?
Prime Minister.
3,000 more by the end of March, and we're rising on police numbers. Mr. Speaker, they left the Home Office. The criminal justice system is utterly broken. Sir Brian Leveson has said on that. They lost control of our borders. They lost control of every single department. And she's obviously spent
I was looking across the front bench again thinking, no, I wouldn't have any of these cunts. They're fucking horrible bastards.
morning rehearsing for the Liz Truss show. She's probably going to be the guest star next week. Both of them talking about how Liz Truss was 100% right. But what Liz Truss said was the Conservatives need to take... No, they don't want to hear it.
Don't I have any of Democracy Manifest? I actually don't know. That's a good point. If someone wants to chop up the Democracy Manifest bit into audio clips for me, we definitely want, get your hand off my penis. And this is Democracy Manifest. What is the charge? Eating a succulent Chinese meal? Those sorts of things. You get the idea.
The Conservatives need to take responsibility. The Conservatives need to take responsibility for their 14 years of failure. That was Liz Truss, their former leader. So perhaps she'll heed that, get up and say sorry.
Wrong again. I asked him how...
Who's laughing at that? Do I have anything for that?
Rats! How many police officers? There are now 1,300 fewer officers than at the election.
Based.
So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know if the Home Secretary wants his job, but I do read that she's having conversations with Tony Blair because he's already given up on the Prime Minister. Why don't we talk about the Health Secretary? Let's see how he's doing. We do know he definitely wants the job. He said he'd end the doctor strikes. So can the Prime Minister tell the House how many appointments have been lost to strike action since last July?
This is such a silly question because the obvious riposte will be how many were lost during the junior doctor strike when you had them out there and it cost more to keep them on strike than it would be if you'd just given in to all of their demands initially. Like, what the fuck kind of question is that?
Mr. Speaker, they left the NHS an absolute mess, with the highest waiting lists on record and the lowest confidence in the NHS ever. The Health Secretary said he would do 2 million extra appointments. He hasn't done 2 or 3 or 4. He's done 5 million extra appointments.
Yeah, no doctor strike in Scotland because you've got a responsible government who, like, care and aren't just trying to play political football. Yeah. That helps.
That is because we invested in the NHS. What did they do? Having broken it, they voted against that investment. They should hang...
Also, any country that can produce that Scott McTominay goal was just, yeah, you're not going to have strikes. Everyone's just too happy. Fact.
Their heads in shame.
Mr. Speaker, I asked him how many appointments have been lost to strike action. He doesn't know. Let me tell him. We have lost 93,000 appointments to strikes since the Health Secretary gave doctors a massive pay rise. It's the truth. I know they wouldn't know the truth if it punched them in the face, but I'm telling them the truth. It is no wonder that we read this morning that the former Deputy Prime Minister has said about the Health Secretary she'd rather stick pins in her eyes than be on his golden ticket. And Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister congratulates himself on 5...
When she said former Deputy Prime Minister, I thought, has John Prescott come back from the grave? Whoa, that's intense.
...million extra appointments. In our last year of office, we delivered 6.5 million extra appointments. Under Labour, Mr. Speaker, everything...
This is Democracy Manifest. Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
But how do I download that? What? Oh, download. There you go. Is it? What? I wish to download the MP3 of that thing.
Go get the cheese board. Is getting worse. Jobs, bills, police numbers, teacher numbers, everything is getting worse. The cabinet should be doing their own jobs. What are they doing? They're trying to compete for the caretaker's job. The only person who doesn't want the Prime Minister's job is the Chancellor. She's just trying to cling on to her own. Isn't it time, Mr. Speaker, that the Prime Minister admits that Labour isn't working?
Oh wow, trying to go back to the 70s, interesting.
Mr. Speaker, she's living proof you can say whatever you like when nobody is listening to anything you have to say. There's absolutely no substance. She's no credibility on the economy. She still believes that Liz Truss was 100% right. She wants to go back to austerity with £47 billion of cut. She thinks the minimum wage should be frozen too high. She's got no credibility on foreign policy. She complains about trade deals she tried to get and we got. She says that we should stay at home and not attend NATO or the G7. On issue after issue, she's clinging on to reform. That's not leadership, it's weakness. No wonder so many are leaving her party. They know there's absolutely no reason to stay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Again, it's two real incompetents thrashing pathetically. I don't think Jennie's in the chamber this week, which is annoying.
Thousands of families are moving into new...
I saw her there on like fucking Thursday or something as well. Depends, I suppose it depends what he's up to.
New estates, only to discover that basic infrastructure, roads, drains and sewers remain in limbo, unadopted by public authorities. In mid-Cheshire alone, 4,700 households, more than 12% of all properties in the constituency, face this uncertainty with no guarantee over maintenance, safety and future costs, often years after developers have walked away. Can the Prime Minister say what steps he will take to make adoption timely and enforceable so homeowners are not left carrying the burden of unfinished infrastructure?
Well, I thank you for raising this serious...
Hang on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Are you proud of me, chat? Are you proud of me?
This issue for his constituents and over 1.7 million homeowners across the country who are left at the mercy of unfair costs and poor management. I can confirm we're consulting on reforming the system to reduce private management of these estates and to protect more homeowners from unfair charges. That's a vital part of our leasehold reforms to protect homeowners from high cost and make sure everyone has the amenities that they need.
Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I join the Prime Minister in offering our condolences to the family and friends of Lance Corporal George Hooley, who died on duty in Ukraine? Our thoughts and prayers are with them. Can I congratulate Glastonbury's Lando Norris on becoming the 11th British driver to win the Formula One World Championship?
His name is Lando. That is all I have to say.
And also everyone at McLaren's in Woking who powered him to the title. Mr. Speaker...
Woking! It's got woke in it!
President Trump's new national security strategy is a deeply alarming document. Quite apart from the irony of President Trump accusing others of trampling on basic principles of democracy, it repeats far-right tropes of civilizational erasure and threatens that the US government will cultivate resistance in Europe. No wonder Vladimir Putin has welcomed that strategy. So will the Prime Minister pick up the phone and make it clear to President Trump that any attempts to interfere with our democracy are totally unacceptable?
For Israel, doing so is absolutely fine.
Can I join him in congratulating Lando for the incredible win? I went down to Woking on Monday to see some of the team at McLaren, and they're all wearing the pride that brought with them. On the question of Europe and President Trump's comments, what I see is a strong Europe united behind Ukraine.
A strong Europe? You're the kind of bitch who's on board with Trump's rubbish. Scrabbling around at his feet trying to get fucking papers. whilst you won't defend your own fucking Labour mayor in London against his racist attacks. No, that's fine. Fuck you.
And united behind our long-standing values of freedom and democracy, and I will always stand up for those values and those freedoms.
Ed David.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't hear about standing up to President Trump. And if we're going to stand up to President Trump, we do need to strengthen our ties with Europe, not just on defence, but on the economy too. And the truth is, this government will not succeed unless it gets our economy growing strongly again. And the best way to do that is a customs union with...
You can always guarantee FBPE posting from the literal cunty fucking twattographs.
Europe. The Prime Minister's chief economic advisor knows it. The Deputy Prime Minister knows it. And yesterday, the Labour chair of the Treasury Select Committee showed she knows it too when she backed our bill.
Do you think they'll ever stop going? No, they won't stop going on about it, because as the only party that actually really fully is like, yeah, fuck yeah, EU, woo! It's their entire, like, separation point. Most parties are sort of too similar to one another, and so they need to try and define themselves as not like the other. And their big sort of unique selling point is, if you really, really love the EU, vote for us. So they're just going to carry on saying the same shit over and over again. Oh, sorry, I had the thing turned off. Sorry, thank you, Katie, who gave a donation. He said, "Oi, Ed, you sucks." I mean, he does suck, to be fair. Yeah.
Does the Prime Minister fear that if he keeps opposing a customs union, in 12 months' time, he will not be standing there?
Mr. Speaker, we have got a close...
Hang on a minute. Did they really just go... in the fucking mother of all parliaments?
Mr.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
The grown-ups are in the room, everyone.
Mr. Speaker, we have got a close relationship with the EU through our reset earlier this year. And yes, I do want a closer relationship than the one we've got at the moment. We are moving towards that. We do have manifesto commitments on issues such as single market, customs union...
Manifesto.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
And freedom of movement. But I would gently point this out, that having now done significant trade deals with other countries, including the US and India, which are hugely important to the JLR workforce and on pharma, it is not now sensible to unravel what is
what I'm saying. I like your boom boom down.
Effectively the best deal with the US that any country has got.
Susan Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Working in NHS, I saw the consequences of Tory underinvestment in our health service. I welcome the progress under this Labour government.
Morgan McSweeney question.
Waiting list, higher patient satisfaction with the general practice, and the rollout of neighbourhood health centres announced in the budget. I thank the frontline staff, including in mental health and community services, for all their hard work, and I am especially grateful to all the staff at the William Harvey Hospital in Ashford who turned up to work during the last BML-led resident doctor strike and ensured that so many planned appointments went ahead. With rising hospital admission...
You're right to point out the SNP and Plaid Cymru are both... No? Okay. The SNP and Plaid Cymru are both pro-EU, but like I'm talking about on a national scale, shall we say. Across all of the nations, which the Lib Dems are, unfortunately. Thank you, Wayward Historian, for gifting us up to User and Identity. Two absolutely fucking awesome people. And thank you, everyone, for the hype train earlier, which, yeah.
because of flu and increased demand on A&E services. Does the Prime Minister agree that the BMA should call off their next planned strike and instead work with the government to find a solution?
Or you could suck my fucking dick.
Well, Mr. Speaker is right. Waiting lists are falling with over 5 million extra appointments. More people are being seen within 18 weeks, and we've hired 2,600 new GPs. That's real progress thanks to the hard work of NHS staff, backed by our record investment. I do think the strikes are unjustified, and they threaten that hard-won progress, and the focus should always be on patients.
$13.36. Our lives touched by thousands of people we never meet.
Literally, yes, thank you. How do I get rid of this? I don't need this on the fucking screen. Go away. Come on. Sorry. Oh, and hello, Helena from the No Justices. I'm Kevin Logan. We're watching PMQs. You can hit the follow button. We're also doing memes about Birmingham because why not? I guess.
Get the fuck, like I'm not playing with all these mutants.
The ditto. Ditto. Hit the follow button. It's free and sexy.
It's Savile Robert.
Everyone go and follow No Justice MTG, obviously.
Levareth. He just said, the Prime Minister, he wanted a closer relationship with Europe, but then referenced the Labour.
I do like Liz Savile Roberts, she's alright, but what I will say is that she's like the poshest sounding Welsh person I've ever fucking heard. Come on, that voice is one hell of a fucking, like, weird, like, it's posh English but with like a little twinge of Welsh in there. Just to, you know, just to spice it up a little bit.
The party manifesto. Wales has been hardest hit by Brexit. Exports are down by a third.
I was about to say, could you find a picture of me looking more dishevelled? But dishevelled is basically my look. I've never looked shevelled. Also, who makes a better spokesperson, me or Chris Packham? It's obviously Chris Packham, but you can be nice to me if you want to, chat. Just saying.
When will he admit that the only solution to the chaos imposed by Brexit is to rejoin the customs union and the single market?
Oh, don't lib out on us, fucking hell, Liz. I was saying you were alright, but now you just sound like a posh twat from the Lib Dems. I've met Liz a number of times, she's an absolute legend. Yeah, she's pretty good actually, but I mean, this is a bit of a waste of a question. Having just heard fucking Ed Davey ask the same thing. Packham is a cunt, but you're also my kind of cunt. Is Packham a cunt? I thought Packham was alright. I like Chris Packham. He seems like a based enough sort of a chap. Chap. You're a twat, Kev. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Like, he seems like a nice bloke, but... Like, if you've got something like, oh, did you know he got Me Too'd? He was touching up a badger. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Or is he too afraid of what his party might say?
Mr. Speaker, I went to Solihull to see the JLR workforce.
Oh, that's where I went to school. Not at JLR, in Solihull. That's the place where I went to school. And for anyone interested, if you're a watcher of the Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK, Karen Carney, the former England international, not only went to the same school as me, was in the same year as me, and she did ballet dancing at my father's school, the school where my dad was a caretaker. Janitor, if you're American. The badger was asking for it. Look, we're not going to victim blame the badger, okay? Hashtag believe all badgers.
Before we got the deal with President Trump, they were worried sick that they were going to lose their jobs. And that would be a loss for them, their families and their communities. I took the call from President Trump when we got the deal in Solihull in JLR, so the first people I could tell were the workforce, who knew very well that that meant their jobs were safeguarded. We've also just done a deal on pharma, which is the first of its kind in the world, and the best of its kind in the world. It is not sensible or fair to the JLR workforce or to the pharma sector to say, having achieved those things now, we should unravel them by discussion about a customs union. I just don't think it's a sensible way to take our country forward.
Justine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of the almost 1 million young people not...
What? Chris Packham forced to pay £200,000 to pensioner after libel case. Legal costs for country sportsmen who proofread defamatory articles are double damages, TV presenter won from editor and writer. I don't know what that's, yeah, okay. That seems a bit weird. Do you know about the pharma deal? Not massively, no. I assume it's dog shit, but you know.
Not in education, employment or training. Hundreds of thousands are disconnected from the...
You fucking briefcase. Look at him. Look at him. A walking advertisement for bullying.
...system entirely. Youth workers have a unique ability to bridge young people into support. I wouldn't be stood here today if I hadn't been supported by a youth worker called Russell when I dropped out of school. So will the Prime Minister use the National Youth Strategy to deliver a shared long-term vision for young people's outcomes, with good work as a central pillar and youth workers and trusted adults at its heart?
Well, I thank him for his question. The party opposite presided over a lost decade for our young people. I'm determined to support every young person to reach their potential. That's why we're delivering the first national youth strategy for 15 years to transform youth services, backed by over £500 million. Mr. Speaker, that means more youth workers, more youth centres and a network of 50 young future hubs. That's on top of our youth job guarantee and our plan to create 50,000 more apprenticeships. We're building a Britain for the next generation.
Saki Bhatt.
Mr. Speaker, over the coming weeks, millions of people from across the country will be visiting their local church. Churches are the custodians of our history and do enormous good. But in January, the government announced a £19 million cut to the listed places of worship grant, as well as putting a cap on the repair cost. This cut puts thousands of local churches at risk. And I say to the Prime Minister, if we lose our churches, we lose the very soul and essence of our communities. So as we go into Christmas...
So the Tories are okay with public spending as long as it's on their particular religious nonsense. Cool.
The Prime Minister do the right thing. He has 10 at risk in his own constituency. Will he reconsider this policy so that we can save our churches?
Well, Mr. Speaker, we do support our churches and the work that those within our churches do, particularly in the lead up to Christmas, and I've got a reception for them in Downing Street.
Why are they getting our money? Well, I don't mind us looking after historic buildings. The fact that they're religious institutions is neither here nor there. We should look after historic buildings. A church is not a building. Well, I mean, it kind of is. We shouldn't be giving money to churches, but to buildings I've got no problem with. Some of the greatest buildings I've ever been to have been churches of one variety or another, or mosques, or synagogues, or whatever. Because, and look, I'm an atheist, right? I've no particular love for religion whatsoever. But I'm not a person for whom religious belief means nothing. I understand what other people mean by it. And I understand the passion with which they feel it. And so that's fine. But I mean, in terms of we should keep historic buildings going because they're beautiful old things. They're a gift from the past. But yeah, churches can do one. I've actually been having this a little bit with my friend Past. And he was an atheist as well. He made me look like a fucking Catholic, which I was back a long time ago. But someone asked whether he was my mother asked whether because she knew him as well. She didn't know him very well. She knew him through me, but whatever. And she said, "Oh, have you got a date for the funeral yet?" And I said, "Yeah." And I told him it's after Christmas. Because the thing is, with Christmas coming up, like lots of places are either closed or fully booked or whatever. You know, it's difficult. So it's between Christmas and New Year, and I used the old phrase when she said, "Oh, is he having a church do?" And I said, "No, he was an atheist," and all the rest of it. And I used, and I might use this because I've been asked to speak at the funeral, which I'm sort of dreading, but to use there was an old phrase about Lord Byron, who was a big lefty fucking guy, but was a member of the House of Lords, hence Lord Byron, right? His father and mother were, you know, he was very much of the aristocracy, and we don't mind a class traitor from the upper classes, lass. It's that's the best thing for it. You can't choose which class you're born into. You can choose which class you fight for, and he literally died in Greece fighting for the Greek people's freedoms from the Ottoman Empire. Anyway, it was said because he's a member of the House of Lords, he had a right to be buried in Westminster Abbey. And one of his friends said if they tried to bury him in Westminster Abbey, his corpse would get up and walk out. And I used that with my mum. I said, my friend, I said, if they tried to bury him in a church, his corpse would get up and walk out. And I might not use the word corpse, because I think that's probably a bit at a funeral, but I might sort of try and rework that as a bit. Because he's being cremated and it's like going to be a secular, it's supposed to be a celebratory thing, you know. So I'm going to bring that part of his life, you know, to the event. Anyway, let's not get maudlin.
This very afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before May's election, Reform in Kent promised that they would improve services and cut taxes. Instead,
Morgan McSweeney, Sweeney question.
Vital services to older people and those with a mental health condition provided by great organisations like Imago and Involve is to be cut, and taxes are going up. Would the Prime Minister agree with me on two things? That given the additional money for the county through the Fair Funding Review, it's beyond belief that Kent are cutting services that vulnerable people rely on, and that their so-called Doge unit that we were told would eliminate waste actually stands for deluded, overconfident, gormless and embarrassing.
I do like the use of the word gormless in Parliament. That's nice. If we could get someone to say prat, I would actually genuinely laugh.
Well, it sums up very well how his community have been utterly let down by reform. Whilst the member for Clacton is making excuses about his behaviour at school, look at what his party are doing across the country.
He didn't like that, did he?
Chaos in Kent. In Hampshire, their mayoral candidate says the Deputy Prime Minister, a black British man born in this country, should go back to the Caribbean. In Staffordshire, Reform's leader has been exposed as a white supremacist. It's not a coincidence.
Whoa, the fuck?
Reform's leader has been exposed as a white supremacist. It's
okay. Did he jump up and scream that directly into the microphone? Because that fucking... Holy shit, that carried. Usually you can't hear them above the hubbub very well. But that was fucking crisp. Yeah, someone shouted shame really loudly. And rightly so. He should be ashamed. He's leading a party of racists. Yeah.
It's not a coincidence, Mr. Speaker, because chaos and division is a member of Clacton's life work.
True, but the point is, Keith, you can't be the person giving that message now. Because you did the whole, island of strangers bit. You can't now claim not to be on the far right or whatever, when you're literally having your fucking immigration minister out there being like, oh, there's probably a connection between the Browns and the rapes. No. You've done this. You're a part of this. Okay? You got down in the muck with the pigs, and now you're covered in shit. Just because you've jumped out and been like, oh, look at all that shit in there. Yeah, we can still smell you cunt.
We're a hobos.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In Bath, parents of children with special educational needs, often very complex needs, are crying out for special school places. Funding to build a brand new special school at that Culver Hay site in Bath was secured, but the government has frozen the funding for almost 18 months without any explanation, leaving many families in the lurch. How much longer do families...
Yeah, they should still give one to fucking to Flynn every week, just because he's the best person there.
And children with special educational
Or
needs
at least the best leader, I guess.
have to wait for this vital new school.
Well, I thank you for raising this, and we are working closely with local...
Is he actually there? He's usually there. I can't see him though. No, I don't think he's in the chamber this week. He might be ill or something, or having a particularly tricky shit, or whatever. I don't know.
Local authorities on plans for special and alternative provision-free schools. We are keen to progress this, and I'll make sure that ministers update her in her particular case.
What did he ask?
But we are determined to fix the SEND system that fails parents and fails children, and that's why we've launched a national conversation to put families at the heart of the lasting reform. We've already put money into extra new places, a language support, and Best Start family hubs being rolled out across every area from April.
Christine Sullivan.
Thank you,
He is
Mr. Speaker.
flunky, yes.
In Blackburn, West Lothian, St Kentigern's Academy was part demolished due to rack and is being rebuilt, costing £35 million. West Lothian Council found £20 million from its own stretched budget, but despite repeated...
Lavery or Flynn? Flynn. No, I prefer Flynn. Lavery's not bad, but Flynn, yeah, no, definitely.
pleas to the Scottish Cabinet Secretary for Education, who called it the most deserving case, funding has not been delivered. Will the Prime Minister back my call for the Scottish Government to urgently fund the £15 million shortfall and raise it with the First Minister in their next meeting?
Well, can I thank her, because she's fought for her constituents on this issue for years, and meanwhile decades of SNP cuts and broken promises have left schools crumbling. Mr. Speaker, what...
Could that have anything to do with the fact that the Tories have consistently underfunded the Scottish Government? And that you're continuing that?
The contrast, by the end of this Parliament, every school in England will either be rack-free or we will rebuild them entirely. We delivered the largest settlement for the Scottish Government in the history of devolution. So the question for the SNP is, after decades of decline, what is their excuse?
Dr. Luke Evans.
Mr. Speaker, I feel for the Prime Minister. It must be tough wherever he goes in the UK.
Honestly, the phrenologists need to get on this, because as soon as I saw him Tory, I knew it. I don't know who the fuck he is, but he's a Tory. Look at him. Get the calipers out. There's a morphology to these creatures, you know. Who let Patrick Bateman in Parliament?
UK because of his policy.
They're all fucking psychopaths, so I mean, you know, the Bateman analogy works.
A pub, higher taxes. A restaurant, higher taxes. A cafe, higher taxes. A farm, higher taxes. A GP, higher taxes. A care home, higher taxes.
A farm, or just someone trying to avoid inheritance tax?
A hospice, higher taxes. So, Mr. Speaker, is this the reason the Prime Minister chooses to spend so much time out of this country?
What a load of nonsense. Mr. Speaker, we are at a critical stage in progress in Ukraine that will affect Ukraine's sovereignty, the whole of Europe.
It's nonsense. Is that parliamentary language? Because you're essentially accusing the person of lying, but you just aren't saying the word, right? I don't know.
And the values that we hold dear. We are part of one of the leading countries to strengthen NATO at a vital time for defence and security in Europe. And we've secured trade deals that they tried for years to achieve, but never did because of our international engagement. And we've got better relations with the EU, all of which is good for our country. Ridiculous question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The video games company Rockstar in my constituency last month fired 31 employees without providing evidence or union representation. The IWGB alleges union busting. Having met Rockstar...
Are you sure it wasn't Grand Theft Auto? That's a different crime. Because Rockstar. That's the only thing I know about Rockstar.
They failed to reassure me they are following employment law, and I share concerns about union busting. Given this government is responsible for the biggest increase in workers' rights in a...
Well, I mean, union busting is one thing, but how about the fact that you have your national government and the local Labour government both calling for the workers of an allied, affiliated union to cross the picket line of that union here in Birmingham with the bin strike? It's not technically union busting, but it's not much better, is it?
Generation. Does the Prime Minister agree all companies, regardless of profit...
Was Vice City the best? It was pretty good, to be fair.
...size must follow UK employment law, and all workers have the right to join a union?
Well, it's a deeply
And I love the fact that because it's made by a Scottish company, there are loads of little Easter eggs throughout the game that are like Scotland related, which is quite nice.
Case, every worker has the right to join a trade union, and we're determined to strengthen workers' rights and ensure they don't face unfair consequences for being part of a union. Ministers will look into the particular case that he raises and keep him updated.
Yeah, the workers' rights bill has been gutted by the Lords, because obviously. And the Labour Party are too pathetic to even fight it, even though it was a manifesto pledge. Cunts.
Blake Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Digital ID is intrusive and fundamentally un-British. The government has no mandate for it. No.
That's true. You're correct here. I agree. The fuck is... What is Humpty Dumpty doing in Parliament? I'm glad all the King's horses and all the King's men put him back together again. But, you know, I didn't know he was even up for election at any point. Interesting.
No sensible person believes it will tackle illegal immigration or illegal working. It's an attack on our open society and a staggering waste of taxpayers' money, isn't it?
I mean, I fucking hate having to agree with a Tory. But when they're right, they're right. Literally everything he said there was true. And it disgusts me to have to agree with him, but there we go.
Digital ID has huge benefits, as many countries in Europe are already demonstrating. And where they failed on our borders, we're taking control of our borders, and I'm proud that we're doing so.
Jennie Riddle-Carpenter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister will know that SEND is in crisis across the country, but it's in particular crisis in Suffolk, where the County Council...
That's special educational needs. Basically, you get extra, or you're supposed to be able to get extra help if you're a person with educational issues. And as always, when it comes to anyone who is even remotely neurodivergent or just suffering in any way, the government couldn't give two fucks. It talks a good game, just like it does with mental health. They don't do anything about it.
It's in special measures for its failings. I'm delighted that the government has listened to one of my asks, which is...
And disabilities, yeah, as well as educational problems. Basically, anything standing in the way of you getting a fair crack of the whip in education. You're supposed to get extra help with that, and you fucking don't. Because successive governments, including this one, couldn't give less of a shit. They're bastards.
Have a national conversation about SEND, so parents, young people and their advocates can have their voices heard. Will the Prime Minister back my call to make sure that we deliver the funding for the former Saxmundham Set School in Saxmundham that closed its doors for the last time in 2024?
Can I thank her? I know she's a dedicated campaigner on this issue, and I'll make sure ministers update her on the latest progress in her constituency. Our ambition is to make sure all children with SEND have access to the right support. That's why we're working closely with local authorities to deliver places where they're needed most.
Sarah Boo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This government is always talking about the fair choices that it has made. But is it a fair choice to balloon the benefits bill? Is it a fair choice to introduce an unfunded and unwanted digital ID that will cost the public billions? And is it a fair choice to increase taxes on working people when the promise was not to? The answer, Mr. Speaker, is no. So can I ask the Prime Minister to...
Okay, you're not... This isn't a fucking monologue. This isn't I'm Billy Big Bollocks, listen to me for half an hour. Ask your fucking question and sit down. There are other people representing other parts of the country that also matter, so shut the fuck up.
Consider one final... So can I ask the Prime Minister to give one final fair choice, thinking of food security and to avoid devastation for families across the country and reverse the family farm tax?
So she gives it all this, and it's all, oh, what about the millionaires who want to avoid the inheritance tax? Won't someone think of Jeremy Clarkson?
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt.
Mr. Speaker, welfare ballooned on their watch.
Also, as was pointed out the other day, the welfare ballooning is almost exclusively to do with pensioners. Not that either of these wankers will admit it, but that's exactly what it is. And yes, everyone go and give money to the Justice for Druid Heath campaign, please. If you're able to.
The Shadow Chancellor was responsible for welfare. It ballooned by £33 billion. They left a £22 billion black hole. The OBR reviewed and said they added £16 billion to that. We'll take no lecture from them on the economy.
Final question, Carl Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's no denying that this government inherited a crisis in our criminal courts, with the number of cases waiting to be tried growing.
Is it just me, or does he sound a bit like Nigel Clough? Not Nigel Clough. Brian Clough. Now listen here, young man. He sounds like Brian Clough. Is he also from was Brian Clough from Sunderland or something? Middlesbrough?
Every single day. So if the Justice Secretary plan to do away with jury trials in some cases, not all, in some cases, is really about addressing the backlog and getting the position to something manageable, then why isn't there a sunset clause? And why has that been ruled out?
Well, he's absolutely right to draw attention to the crisis in our courts. Yes, he says. Sir Brian Leveson is one of our most respected senior judges. He did an independent report, and he made clear that we risk, in his words, total collapse of the criminal justice system without change. That is what they're chuntering at. That is what they left. A system near total...
So instead of letting it collapse, you're just going to bring it down? Awesome, thanks. Controlled demolition. What about Building 4? No, Building 7? Is that the conspiracy one? Whatever. I thank you. I can't give a duck for gifting a sub. Much love.
Collapse, where victims of sexual violence and rape wait years to get justice. That is not justice, that is victims failed. I can reassure him, and I know he feels very strongly on this, that juries will remain a cornerstone of our justice system for the most serious cases.
Mr. Robertson, I don't want shouting like that again. Do we understand each other? Okay.
Was that the shame guy, I presume?
Right. That completes Prime Minister's question.
Alright, enough of that. Well, that was a fucking waste of time as always. As always. And yeah, they have no mandate for the changing to the non-jury system, but yeah, there we go. Anyway, shall we have some slop? We've done a bit of we've done
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Now shall we do
a bunch of fascist slags?
Timcast. Tim Paul with the amazingly titled Candace Owens' $1 billion question. How much did she make dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave? Firstly, it should be Charlie Kirk, apostrophe S, because it's possessive, so it's the grave of Charlie Kirk, so it's Charlie Kirk, apostrophe S. It's great. When will these whitoids assimilate and learn the language? That's what I want to know. Anyway, yes, dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave. Brain cancer slopfest. Let's fucking go.
Yesterday, Candace Owens had a new thumbnail for her show. The $1 billion question. Who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death? Well, the answer is her, of course, because...
Well, the answer is all right-wingoids, because you got a week's worth of absolutely belting content, and probably lots of money from your stupid fans. But yeah, I mean, that does include Candace Owens, yeah. Seemingly, the only person who lost out was Charlie Kirk, who lost a couple of pints of blood.
Because she's got, 20 plus videos with millions of views? The real $1 billion question, I suppose, is how much money has Candace Owens made milking the assassination of Charlie Kirk with lies, hypocrisy, innuendo, and crackpot conspiracies? Well, she used this thumbnail, which depicts 3 Polaroid pictures, Kash Patel, me.
Okay, we need to make this a thing. Tim Paul killed Charlie Kirk. That needs to be the new conspiracy, okay? Tim Paul hired a hitman to take out Charlie Kirk for the content. Just for the content. Didn't even dislike him. It wasn't a personal beef, he just wanted the content. He tried to kill Trump twice, didn't work. Wasted a lot of money. But, you know, he got Kirk in the end, so...
And a mystery man. Now, of course, on the show, she's not really claiming, or for the most part, it's more about. I had Milo on the show, Milo Yiannopoulos on Friday, and we had this very cathartic...
You mean the man who I wrecked and pwned with logic and reason?
Conversation about the inner workings of politics, though I certainly understand there are many people who are upset over what he said. The things that I said, I think it was genuine, and I don't know that I believe or trust everything Milo does, but it is what it is. Now, I will say this. We have been under very serious threat for months.
That's about as fucking hardcore a criticism of any rightoid you'll ever hear from this guy. I'm not sure I completely believe everything Milo does. Like, you mean the man who's just, his entire life is just a lie? A patchwork of lies and deception? The biggest griftoid on the scene? I wonder how he's getting on with his not gay husband. Yeah, Tim Paul killed Charlie Kirk to start the Civil War. Yes! I did also have receipts. That is true.
Months following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we had a vehicle approaching our property slowly, fire a shot, line up with our studio, fire 2 more shots. We don't know what it is. I said it before, I said it again. I'd rather just believe it's random nonsense in the middle of nowhere for someone just shooting a gun for no reason. But it doesn't make sense, and that's a naive way to approach these things. But I try to be rational and pragmatic.
Yes, when I think of Timothy Poole, Esquire, I think of rationality.
So it's a difficult position. It's stressful. It is. Now, the issue with Candace Owens is when she makes a thumbnail, the $1 billion question, and she puts a mystery man in a Polaroid, the insinuation is obvious, and this is the game she's always played. Who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death? And then she shows Kash and she shows me. Because she knows that people who don't...
on first name terms with Kash Patel, are we? First name terms with the head of the FBI. Curious.
Pay attention. She knows that regular people scrolling through, they read headlines and they see photos, they insinuate, they connect, and they move on. And that was the point of what she was doing.
Which is why you always lie, and then if you ever do retract anything, it's always like 3 hours into a live stream that no one sees. Because you get people to insinuate, come to their conclusion, and then move on.
I believe that it is intentional on her part. Now, I don't care about intention. I really don't. I said this last night. Elad was on the show and he said she's intentionally doing it. I said, that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. The question is, what is the outcome of what she's doing as she pushes these psychopath grifter conspiracies so she can profit off of the death of Charlie Kirk while spitting on his grave and smiling as she does? What is the outcome? It's actually pretty obvious. We've received emails from people threatening us with death. And when you ask who benefited and you have a mystery man Polaroid, here's the insinuation. You're saying, is it Cash? Is it Tim? Or is there a mystery person? Because if it was really just about, no, she'll say, it's because we were highlighting his episode of With Milo. Then why put the mystery man Polaroid? This is social engineering 101. I have called her out for it before. Assumptive manipulation, assumptive reasoning. The way it works is you will say something hoping the other person or you knowing they will assume an incorrect thing. It's very common in sales. And
on your show.
You know, one way I describe it without trying to be specific and call anybody out would be like if I said, you know what I really want to do? I want to buy everyone the most delicious filet mignon they've ever had. That's what I want to do. You know what? I say we do it. But, guys, I really would love to. Now, we need to hit our sales goal of X amount of widgets sold. Then, everyone now believes. Did I say I would buy them? No. I said I want to. Then when they do the sales, I come out and say, we did it. I'm getting you dinner. They go, oh, man, the best steak dinner of my life. And then I order them a hot dog. And they go, what is this? And I'll say, it's dinner. And they go, you said you were getting me steak. I never said that. I said I wanted to. I can't do that. See, that's how you manipulate someone into doing something without ever having to actually pay off the reward.
You're revealing a lot more about yourself than Candace Owens here, I think, Timothy.
This is a component of what she does. Who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death? Here's a picture of Tim Pool. We get it.
Also, I don't think it's that deep, babe. I think it's just clickbait. I think she's just doing clickbait, and you've fallen into it.
So, where are we, my friends? Well, Antunes 1. Candace Owens' new video, Who Benefited from Charlie Kirk's Assassination. Meanwhile, her last 20 videos with millions of views, each all about Charlie.
You know what they are, though?
Right-wing bollocks.
Lies, innuendo, and I love this. None of these things have ever been answered. It's basically the lost of news, politics, and true crime. Every episode is just a question. It's just a question with heavy insinuations. Now, of course, she's tweeted out directly calling on people to pull their donations from Turning Point USA. We have this clip from Nick Fuentes, of all people, Nick Fuentes. And he's got praise for me, which is, look where we are. Candace.
Wow, what a surprise, Tim. A far-right lunatic likes you. Any opportunity there for retrospection on yourself and maybe what you've been up to and what's led you to this place? No? Okay.
Yes. Uniting Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin. How is this possible? Was that her play all along? To be a vile, evil scumbag forcing people...
Finally, a bit of spice. Let's go.
Who normally disagree on many issues to come together? Maybe that's the play, right? Well, here's what Nick said in response to a question about Israel killing Charlie Kirk.
Nick, keep an open mind on Israeli involvement in Charlie's assassination. There are many fact and suspicious events pointing that way. Why are we stopped noticing when it comes to this? America first.
You're an idiot. Sorry. Thank you for the big super chat, but I'm sorry. If you're on the Candace Owens train, I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to try to appease you. It's wrong. It's stupid. All of it is stupid, and I'm not going to entertain it at all. And I thought Tim Pool had an epic go-off on it tonight. It was awesome.
Well, to be fair, the Daily Beast called it MAGA star melts down at Trump fans an expletive-filled rant, and they called it, I believe they called it unhinged. Yes, in an unhinged verbal assault. Man, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, isn't it? Why is it that so many liberals love Candace Owens? Let's see. Let's scroll down on this.
I don't think there are any liberals who love Candace Owens. What are you talking about? Also, crowned slut. What fucking videos are you watching, you freak? Yeah, no, there are no liberals who love Candace Owens. I mean, they're quite amused by the fact that she's like exposing you dickheads, but that's about it.
This, let me show you. The Young Turks. The Young Turks, are they conservatives? Let's scroll down and see what we have. Maybe Candace is right. Surely Candace is right. She is spot on. It's pronounced...
Well, hang on a minute. How is this got to do with the... So, some people in the comment section of the Young Turks believe a thing. So? Who cares? Do you stand by everything that everyone says in your fucking chat, Tim? Would it be fair to go into your chat, pull out some random Nazi and be like, see, Tim Paul's a Nazi? I mean, that's a bad example, because, yeah. But that's not, you know what I mean? Like, you don't stand by everything that's said in your chat. So I don't think it's fair to do that to the Young Turks either. And I'm no fan of the Young Turks, but fair is fair, you know?
That's TP Israel now. You know what's really fascinating? You know what's fascinating?
That doesn't even work. TP Israel doesn't work. That's not a good pun.
Me is, you know, I like to peruse the old leftist YouTube every now and then. And I went to the Young Turks, and sure enough,
leftist YouTube, the Young Turks. Leftist YouTube, the Young Turks. Leftist YouTube, the Young Turks.
They're like aligned with Candace on this. Okay, I say like as the literal, not completely, but it feels that way. And the comments...
Okay, but you're aligned with fucking Nick Fuentes. Again, this like guilt by association shit doesn't work when the people you associate with are the fucking Kremlin.
Sections are, you find the right video. You find a video that's related to Turning Point, Erica Kirk, Israel. And it's so funny. The overlap between Turning Point and Candace's audience, they love each other. Anna Kasparian even saying that she's been watching more Candace Owens recently. You know, it's really fascinating. It's true crime, it's female-coded, and Candace is...
Oh, he managed to make it weirdly misogynistic there. I was expecting him to be like, Candace Owens is, she's an airhead or whatever, you know, that kind of like, petty fucking shit. But he's gone like, it's female-coded? What are you talking about?
Just tapped into it with her Stanley mug and her, I loved him, you know. When I said, yeah, I feel like an alien here. And he said, you know, I'm a time traveler. I'm like, what is it, like a romantic drama?
He did a bit of acting for us. Can we have to go back and watch his groundbreaking piece of acting there. Let's have a look. I introduced you one of the finest method actors of his generation. Thankfully, he didn't black up for the role. But Tim Paul as Candace Owens.
And her, I loved him, you know. When I said, yeah, I feel like an alien here. And he said, you know, I'm a time traveler. I'm like, what is it, like a romantic drama? Yeah.
He took some bold choices, and they paid off enormously. We stand.
True crime, romance, mystery box. I genuinely believe that Candace Owens likely planned this out. I think she's very smart. And I think they were looking at how do we make compelling content. You can take a look at shows that have succeeded, shows that have failed. And I think they very much went for Mystery Box is great. Mystery Box is a show that always ends on a cliffhanger.
I don't know what the
for
show
example,
is.
we joked about this here about, you know, doing skateboarding stuff that always ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we get it, you skateboard. Fucking Christ. Yeah, it was cool 20 years ago. Shut up.
You do something random. Completely random. There's two ways to resolve it. I could say something like, as I'm wrapping up a segment, I can go, whoa, I just got an email. Oh my God. Oh my God. I need to do another segment on this, guys. Check out my next segment coming up at 1. I can't believe this. Off. And then everyone's like, what happened? What's the next episode? I have to watch. I was talking.
Motherfucker. Yeah, you've just learned the concept of a cliffhanger. a thing that they've been doing in TV and film for, well, forever, basically.
My buddy Robbie, shout out Robbie, and he was just like, Tim, it's like every episode ends on a cliffhanger, and you got to see the next episode to figure out what happens. And I don't really take it seriously, and I'm like, well, a lot of people do, and it's destroying politics. We're trying to fix and mend these problems, and she's sitting there smiling, burning it all down. Let me finish this video for you.
Gentlemen,
I have
this
never seen such
is
a clear-cut
democracy
case of an
manifest.
individual person being such an unnecessary detriment through sheer ignorance and irresponsibility. I've never seen it. Because you could say other people that have done things like Shapiro or Charlie Kirk or whoever, you could say they're part of a system or there's an incentive structure, they're playing by the rules, whatever. Candace is spearheading this thing, like she is creating this hysteria, and it is to the detriment of everybody. It is to the detriment of the right wing broadly. It is to the detriment of anyone that seriously talks about Jews in Israel.
Anti-Semites. He just means anti-Semites.
And it's to the detriment of rationality. It is the definition of hysteria. And I thought Tim Pool, very courageous, because I know he's getting shit for it, to say something about it. He had an epic go-off on it. Major respect for him. But yeah, no, I'm not with that at all. Thank you for the big super chat, but respectfully, no, disrespectfully,
I love
that is stupid. Okay?
No, disrespectfully. You know, look, I am fed up with the fake diplomacy. I am sick and tired of the PR narrative reality. You guys know this. I know this. Everyone knows it. We know it. When something happens, a politician or a CEO is going to give a statement, and we can predict to the dotted I what they're going to say. It is generic plastic lies, and most people see through it. There are many people with low reading comprehension. I'm not trying...
Mate, we've watched your show, we know.
...to insult them, but they don't see through it. And so, Candace, you know, and it's fascinating because it is insulting to call someone stupid. I get it. But some people are stupid, right? So when Candace is intentionally manipulating people with low reading comprehension, she then says Tim Pool called you stupid. They're going to...
Oh, that's annoying. This is the thing that's annoying him, is she's stealing the low reading comprehension audience from him. She's eating into his part of the pie there.
Get mad. That is what it is. I'm not going to play any games. You know, I'm not going to... Actually, what...
Also, for anyone who goes on about the left eating itself, which, by the way, the left obviously fights amongst itself, so does the right. This kind of flare-up happens all the time. It's entirely on their side to do with, like, grifting, mostly, rather than, like, intellectual differences, but they do, like, go off on each other constantly. Because it's not a left or right thing, it's a people thing. People are cantankerous, self-absorbed dickheads. So they fight.
Nick was saying in here, I'm not going to pretend to try and rationalize this response. Disrespectfully, no, you're an idiot. And he makes a great point about how it's detrimental to everybody. This is the line for me. It's one thing when she has this stupid true crime show, and she's not the only one who has a stupid true crime show, but it's when she mixes it into the political world and starts destroying all of the hard work that I and many others have contributed to. I don't think myself anywhere close to what Charlie was doing. I don't completely agree with everything.
Yeah, I thought you were a leftist, Tim. What happened there, mate?
Charlie stated or believed in. But it was a big coalition. It was what America is supposed to be. It's what America was in the 90s when the left and the right mostly agreed on things but had some wedge issues.
Can we just go back to grilling? Yeah, maybe you were a leftist fucking 30 years ago, Tim. Maybe.
And now... that's what, as Charlie's building this, bringing liberals, even people I don't like, onto stage, bringing me on stage, he said, this is the coalition, this is America. Now we're watching Candace Owens say a whole bunch of weird crackpot...
Whereas actually his assassination, that was America. That was a school shooting. As American as apple pie. Or killing the natives. Or baseball.
And just burn it all down because she wants to make money, I guess. I don't think she's stupid. I think she knows full well what she's doing as she crafts these messages. So Elad said this, not me, but it's an obvious assessment. Candace Owens intentionally put me on the thumbnail because she knows that her audience is going to target us. And even, it's fun.
No, it's because you're a big name and it's a good thumbnail to get clicks. I don't know why you're reading this extra nonsense into it. It's not about targeting you, it's about getting clicks and money and clout.
Funny, because even Saturday morning when I mentioned that there were shots fired outside our studio at our property, that people started posting, he's going to blame Candace Owens.
I still don't believe that happened. I've yet to see any actual independent corroboration that that event even took place. So I'm not going to even fucking accept that it did. Until I see some actual evidence, and not just, oh, my mate said it was. No, I don't care. I want an actual fucking piece of evidence that this took place. And I've yet to see that. So, no foxes.
Owens for this. I am not going to blame Candace Owens. She did not tell anyone to do anything. But there is the very much, oh, won't someone rid me of this priest? Her making that thumbnail yesterday, I'm not playing stupid games. She knows what she's doing. The Polaroid with the question mark saying who benefited from Charlie Kirk's death? Was it Cash, Tim Pool, or a mystery person? Is that really the message? Well, that's the message she's conveying through the imagery. That is going to make regular people assume that I somehow benefited. And it's the funniest thing in the world because I have literally nothing to do with Turning Point, and I'm not even going to be there. I've never worked for Turning Point. I've only worked with them in the capacity that I've been at AmFest, one of their events. We did it 3.
Well, you are connected to them in that you murdered their founder, Tim.
3 years in a row. We're not going to be there this year because I'm going to play poker instead. Let me finish up this video from Nick
he's
Fuentes.
so cool. He does skateboarding and poker. He's the coolest person ever. I want to be just like Tim Pool when I grow up.
Into that for 2 seconds. Charlie Kirk was Israel's number. You say, why are we stopped noticing? First of all, why are we stopped noticing? You can't even write. You can't read or write. You're a fucking idiot. That's one. 2, nobody stopped noticing. Noticing is about paying attention to evidence. Evidence. Not scraping the bottom of the barrel talking about maroon t-shirts and looking at flight logs and finding any and every possible thing and throwing it at the wall to see what will stick. She says to Russell Brand, it's all connected. Brigitte Macron, Charlie Kirk, the war in Gaza. What a coincidence that everything you talk about is...
Oh, I didn't even realise. Thank you to I Can't Give a Duck for gifting 3 months of Tier 1 to Noodle Roo. I didn't even know you could do that. Can you gift multiple months to a person? Apparently you can. Thank you. I will suck all of your dicks.
Is really all the same thing. You just knew it was going back to Brigitte Macron, so no, it's fucking bullshit. And nobody wants to say that because everybody is afraid of this hysterical mob. I faced it before. I was right before. I'm right about this.
You ran away, but yeah, okay.
I'll be vindicated. You watch. I'm done arguing about it. I've said what I have to say on it.
It's fascinating. You know, it's funny because people are always like, Tim, when are you going to debate Nick Fuentes? And I'm like, guys, debate him on what? Like Israel? Really? I mean, he's allowed to believe what he believes, and I disagree with him, so I guess. But it was funny because, like, I'm from the south side of Chicago, so when Nick Fuentes says, like, 5% of black people are murderers, they should be in prison, it's he was on Piers Morgan the other day, and it's just like, well, yes, anyone who's a murderer should go to prison. And that was the point he's making. He's doing it in a way that's kind of inflammatory, but he gets you to interact with it. I think it's absolutely fascinating. He points out that people are scared of the mob. And that's the reality. I said this yesterday. I was super...
I don't know how much more I can take of this, but we'll carry on for a bit. But, I mean, he's boring, you know.
Super pissed off, and it's a combination of factors. Tim Pool had more than a few harsh words about his fellow conservatives. And it's just like every conservative is like, Tim Pool is not a conservative. Yeah, I'm not,
No, you've just backed every Conservative to run for office ever. But no, he's not a Conservative. No.
There are a lot of right-leaning people in the poker world, I'll tell you that. They're largely apolitical. But Conservatives are not a fan of poker. It's not gambling.
Conservative? What the fuck are you talking about? Your evidence for I'm not a Conservative is I like poker and Conservatives don't like poker. Firstly, what basis do you have for Conservatives don't like poker? What the fuck are you talking about?
We'll debate you. I know that a lot of poker players say it is, and it's fine.
Well, it is gambling if you're gambling. Look, you can do it in a non-gambling way. We did when I was at uni in the first year. We were in the halls of residence place, which was on campus, but you know what I mean. In the digs, and one of the lads had a poker set with like chips and stuff. And so we'd play, and we wouldn't play for money. The chips were just worth what it said on the thing. It wasn't actually worth any money. And we played hundreds and hundreds of hands, thousands of it. It must have been thousands of hands, whilst drinking, getting ready to go out on the bevy. You tank up before, and then it's cheap, and you can sit over a couple of pints all night. Then Anyway, the point being, we'd play poker or we'd play FIFA and stuff, and so you can play poker in a way that isn't for money. But if you're playing for money, then yes, of course it's gambling. I didn't play FIFA with Ed Davey, mainly because Ed Davey was not a person I was aware of. But Ed Davey's also a knob, and I wouldn't play. Actually, you know what? I probably would play FIFA with Ed Davey. Just as a weird, oh yeah, okay, we played FIFA. I would also shit-talk him like fuck and beat him. So,
It's a debate. But the point is, Conservatives aren't about to be promoting gambling or anything like that. Poker in their worldview, right? I'm not a
To be fair, Ed Davey wasn't aware of Ed Davey. I'm still not sure he is. I think he wakes up and looks in the mirror and goes, who the fuck is that? Oh, yeah, I'm Ed Davey, yeah. What is a Liberal Democrat? Oh, yeah, no, yeah, okay. Look, it takes him a while to, remember himself. Didn't Trump own a casino? Trump owned multiple casinos and they all went bust. How do you lose money owning a company whose entire bit is to get people to give you money? That's all basically a casino is. From the numbers, right? Each slot machine only pays back a certain percentage so that you win automatically. The house always wins. In any scenario like that. Like, you never see a poor bookmaker because they literally create the book, the odds going up and down based on the amount of money, so that no matter what the outcome is, they win. And the same is true for casinos in slightly different and, weird ways. But ultimately, you always win. And yet he somehow still managed to lose and for those businesses to go kaput. How? Amazing.
Conservative. I'm a moderate, disaffected liberal with still some liberal economic tendencies.
No, you aren't, Tim. You're not any of those things. Stop fucking lying.
And I agree with conservatives on a lot of things. Like, I love this
Yeah, you do agree with conservatives on a lot of things, I know.
Background Nick has. I long for this room. I know it's a green screen. I'm pretty sure it is. But I just absolutely love the twinkling Christmas tree lights and low, dim lights. I've talked about looking out the window.
Why don't you do that then? You have all of the fucking money in the world. Do it. Turn your studio into that for a few weeks.
As the snow falls with candle lights and your Christmas lights, and that is home, and that is America, and that is what we want. And I think Nick and I agree with that, agree on that one. And it is funny too because I'm pretty sure, I don't know where he's from, but I know where he is now was only a couple miles. I think it's like 5 miles away. Actually, not even. As the crow flies, probably like 2 or 3 miles from where I grew up. So I imagine that we actually, outside of like the very, very Israel stuff, I'd imagine we agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, outside of the fact that you're a shill for Israel, you probably agree a lot with the fucking Nazi. Cool.
But he mentions that people are scared of this mob. And I think that's why they don't want to speak up. More and more people are starting to. And
I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I'm not wasting my fucking time on this knob. What I'm going to do is probably go and get some food. I might go and get me some fucking grubbage. Let's go. Go kissing behind the bike shed, why don't you, Tim? True! Anyway, let's see who's going on YouTube. I can send everyone over to. And I'll be back tomorrow. Possibly with no justice, for possibly question time. Or not. Depending on whether the trains work. I'll give you an update on the privatisation success story. We'll go over to Katie Marshall on the YouTubes. And then on twitch.tv we shall go into... who should we go into? Is that Mary, Mother of God? No, that is Mother Teresa. Light of this world. Lol. Who's this? Oh, Dead Domain. Okay, we'll go into Dead Domain. They're good. Okay. And I will see you all. Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay beautiful. Free Palestine. No pass around.